Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here we go. All right, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. Okay, so our card is the Four of Swords, which has to do with making truce, finding a sense of stability, stillness, a sense of justice coming to be. Kind of that period of time after turmoil, right? Okay. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start right down here. And I can see that we have a person who is kind of walking this way. They're in this emotional space. It looks like they're taking kind of a wide stride there. So they might be in a hurry. They might be kind of, confidently or emotionally walking quickly towards, okay? And I feel like you are in a place, where maybe something you've done or said, or not even knowingly, but maybe you were, I don't know, frustrated, impatient, whatever. Something has happened where you feel guilty about an interaction or an ongoing kind of situation that has only gotten worse, possibly. And I really feel like you are thinking about this. You, just kind of, it's hard for you to move on, to focus on other things when there's kind of this little thorn kind of stuck in your side. And so there is kind of a feeling of wanting to make amends, and maybe it's not totally selfless. This is something that you want to resolve for your own peace of mind. But I feel like you are getting to that place where you really just want to go ahead and do it. I think that you've been thinking about it. We have up here, which looks like kind of a large snail. It leads me to believe that this is something maybe that's been over a period of time. You just kind of have been thinking about what's the best way of going about this. Did I even offend them? Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe I was in the right. Maybe it's not my place to say anything. Well, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think you realize that, to kind of expel this from your mind, just telling them you're sorry, telling them your piece, making those amends, letting it go, trying to get things squared away. So this is not something that is lingering. Now, do I think that this is somebody who is really involved in your life all the time? Maybe not. I just think that you're a person that if you're kind of rude or impatient or, snappy with somebody, it really kind of affects you long term. So, I think that you're just going to have to kind of get this thing over with, and it will, I feel like it will basically be resolved. I don't think that this is something that, you know, is going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. I don't feel like you're a person that has like a lot of enemies or, you know, troubles with people. I think it's just kind of one of those things where we said the wrong thing, we did, you know, maybe the wrong thing, we made the wrong choice. Maybe it was a little bit of a rash decision, whatever, but I think that this will be figured out, definitely. So I also see a person sitting beneath a tree, and I feel like, you know, this next period of time there will be some rest for you. I think you have a lot of things going on. You know, as readings have gone over the last few months, always, you know, very focused on the work, making resources, your, you know, continued innovations and creativity. And so, you know, I think that with how well things have kind of gone, how motivated you've been, inspired, you know, I think that there are moments where, and we've also talked about this, where you kind of have to force yourself into enjoying it, but also taking a little reprieve from your probably pretty busy schedule. But I think even, you know, although this is kind of in this physical plane on the flat, it's also in the emotional. And I think that really, you know, psychically, you are in a place where you're kind of just tying up these like last few little things that have gone on, so that you feel like, okay, then I can just be kind of at peace for a minute. I don't have to worry about any kind of conflicts. I don't know about you, but I do not like being in a place of, you know, turmoil with anybody. I don't argue with people. I don't, you know, get into fights with people. I just don't. So, and that's because it really gives me so much anxiety, and I don't like that. I think about it, and it just consumes me, you know. And so I feel like this is maybe not to that level, but I feel like this is similar for you. And so you probably go through most of your life without having too many, you know, too many conflicts going on, you know, maybe within business and work, you know, of course things come up, but I don't think you have any kind of personal, you know, troubles in that way. So let's go up here and look. We had that little snail going, you know, kind of going a little slow sometimes with things, and that's okay, taking your time and thinking. But I also think, and I want to kind of turn this way, and I see this house, and it looks like it's just kind of full of energy, life, excitement. We have the roof up here, and it seems like, you know, there's not really any super clear images, but just a lot of movement, very energetic. So I wonder if you will be having some kind of visitors or a party, or you know, some kind of celebration. Maybe you have family coming to stay. Maybe, you know, part of this getting into a place of kind of mental peace and preparation for a little bit of chaos in the home. But I think this will be happy. I think that this will be kind of a nice situation. You know, it might feel like, to you as a Capricorn who kind of likes things just so most of the time, it looks almost like the tower, right, with the kind of flames. And so I don't think that's what it is. I think in your mind, though, you perceive this you know, people being in your home, like, oh, this is gonna be you know, a lot for me. I almost wonder if this is like maybe in-laws or family that has never stayed with you. You just don't exactly know what to expect, or maybe you know what to expect, but you're just worried about, you know, that it's going to be kind of, you know, kind of a time suck, and could be, you know, more, a lot of noise, right? And just kind of busy, 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 busy. So, you know, I think in this kind of preparing for this, having some time to kind of sit beneath that tree, your thinking tree, get ready for it. Sometimes we have to be forced out of our comfort zone. Sometimes we have to bring people that we love into our home and let them cause a little chaos. Maybe children, maybe a mother-in-law, whatever it is, right? So I think that ultimately, though, it's going to be a fun time. And I think that it'll end up being nice that you get to, you know, be a little closer than you usually are. And here I see a little bird sitting on a nest. And I almost wonder, do you have, oh my goodness, do you have a little bird leaving the nest at the same time? I wonder if you all are getting together because it's kind of a change in living situations. Maybe one of your kids is going to school. Maybe they're finally moving out. I don't know. Or maybe they're moving back in. But I see a little bird on the nest. So I feel like this may be with the house and everything else. You know, it's a change in living dynamic, but also you're having a visit, like a visitor, right? So, I'm interested to hear what's going on with you all. If you want to tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear, because it's kind of seems like an interesting and busy dynamic going on, especially for a Capricorn's living situation. Okay, so up here we have, it looks like an angel right here. And we have a fire, a great fire. And here we have an anchor. Okay, so I feel like that is really that there is that creative fire, you know, rising. And this has been going on for months for you. I mean, you really I feel like you've been so motivated. But in this time, I feel like, you know, it's almost like you are having divine visitation, divine protection. I feel like more than most times, you feel like there is that other there with you, kind of, you know, protecting you, helping you through the hard decisions. This maybe is part of why you feel so moved to kind of make amends, to get this thing sorted out. And, you know, I think that this is definitely, you know, you're not being led astray with this. And so I think as you kind of lighten your heart, and you have kind of all this other stuff going on, taking your breaks where you can. It's just so many blessings ultimately. And I think getting into that right headspace, so that you can experience everything in the now, being kind of in a more, you know, in a lighter mood, maybe not kind of lamenting all of these disruptions. This will make it so much easier for you, and you know, just not so grumpy, possibly. And the anchor, okay, the anchor here. I feel like, you know, ultimately this is just about you staying grounded. I think that you know, you definitely have that. You have that kind of desire to depart, right? To kind of leave the situation a little bit as much as you can. Maybe take on more work, more hours, not be in the home as much, and you know, just leave it up to everybody else to deal with the things. But I think that it's important that you kind of stay in it. You don't just kind of, you know, disappear into the background. I think it will be really something it'll be really something for you to be able to enjoy all of this. And ultimately, I think that you're going, if you do not, you look back on it and think that, you know, maybe I missed something, a very special time. This feels like it could be like a rite of passage, right? And that would make sense if you had a child who is going off to school, leaving the home, getting married, maybe coming home after a divorce or something to stay for a while, whatever it is, a big, you know, it could be whatever. There's just some changing in the configuration and dynamic at home. Okay. So try your best to be a part of it where you can. Okay. And then let's see, we have a check mark, and really, you know what that says to me, the check mark is that it's going to be important for you to have some lists, to have some plans. This is going to help you feel kind of in control when things feel like they're maybe out of your control a bit. When you're starting to feel discomfort, go to your tasks. Right? Don't do, not the ones that are going to take you away from everybody, but just kind of like focus on little things that you can be doing. If you have visitors, of course, there's always things like cooking and like cleaning up and, you know, making sure everything's kind of, you know, sorted. And I mean, you know how it is to have somebody, staying for a little bit of time and then going off to school. I mean, that's a big one too. Making sure you're kind of a big support there. But you know what, I think really ultimately it's having a plan for yourself, even if it's just like, oh, I have to go and, you know, clean the garage today. Or whatever, you know, just finding something for yourself that's close, but not, you know, not too involved, not too far away, just kind of right there in the mix, right? Some busy work. And then we have a little carrot here, and this is really in that kind of divine, metaphysical place. Okay, so I feel like this is kind of like a treat for you. Like this is going to be like decide that you're going to do something special for yourself, something that feeds your soul. When all of this is kind of come to, you know, its end and everything's settling down again, you're back at your regular work schedule or whatever, make sure that you do something for you that kind of celebrates you going outside of your comfort zone, okay? A special little treat, right? And I think, you know, something that's fulfilling because it is in that spiritual realm. So something that really kind of maybe buying like a special book, going to a sacred place, you know, preparing a beautiful meal as kind of a, you know, celebratory thing, whatever it is, whatever feels, you know, very special to you, okay? And the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about here too is when you are in a place of like kind of being in, you know, discomfort, things are different at home, you know, you're all over, things are kind of all over the place, whatever, changing, using some mindfulness techniques. One thing that I learned, you know, after I'd been doing it for, you kind of just naturally do some of these things, but doing the kind of body scan where you sit quietly and you kind of start at the top of your head and you kind of close your eyes and you think over how are you feeling through your head, and you kind of scan through your body, visualizing, meditating on, and really thinking about how am I feeling, right? And as you're doing it, your breath is kind of slowing, you are coming into kind of lowering your heart rate, you know, and just really checking in with yourself. How do I feel? Okay, I noticed that, you know, maybe my shoulders are tense. Okay, I'm feeling kind of, you know, like this might be connected to being a little stressed out. Okay, let's go down and see what else, you know, and you just kind of go through your whole body this way. And in itself, this mindfulness, kind of, it feels like we are in control of ourselves, right? We kind of are very connected and present with our physical form. There is kind of that beautiful unity of consciousness and physicality, okay? And so let's take one more look here and see what we have. Okay. Oh, that one moved. Well, how it was before, it looked kind of, it had the 3 and then the 2. And to me, it was like a body laying down. I feel like making sure that you are getting your rest. Again, mindfulness, but also the sleep schedules. Make sure that you're getting your sleep, your restorative sleep. We have an owl here too. So definitely kind of that night owl. I think that sometimes you stay up a little bit later than you would like to. So maybe really being kind of more proactive about getting to sleep a little bit earlier, getting a little bit more sleep than you had planned would be nice, right? And, you know, I think this is another way that when we are successful with getting a little more rest than we usually do, it feels pretty good. It could even feel like a treat depending on, you know, how busy your life is, what part of your life you are in. You know, sometimes you just are surviving off of very little sleep, sometimes almost too much sleep, right? But finding that happy medium, right? And feeling like you are waking up with a little bit of energy, that's perfect. Okay. All right, so I have these cards that I got, and they are from the Gratitude, a little deck of appreciation by Lorraine Anderson. And I just got these, and I have been doing them in this cycle of readings, just kind of cutting the deck in half here and seeing what comes up. Okay, we have these hands with the sun, star, the moon. Okay, and we're going to turn it over and see what it has to say. And it says, change the narrative, reframe a negative thought into something positive. Okay, so this is something we all can do. I can do this a few times a day at least, right? For me, the big one is when I feel like things aren't going fast enough, when I'm getting impatient and maybe my daughter is not having whatever we're doing. Like, got to get ready, we're leaving to go do this, you know, and she won't listen. And I think, oh, well, I'm doing this for you. We're going to do an activity that you like is for you. She doesn't want to do it. And then I think, why am I forcing this? Why am I getting so, anxiety ridden? She doesn't want to do this right now. And, you know, I'm glad that she's deciding for herself. And I'm glad that maybe we'll get a couple minutes of a break to just kind of sit here and regroup. I'm going to take a little rest. She's going to kind of do her thing for a minute. And then we'll try again, you know. And, people understand because they're toddlers, right? So, in these moments, sometimes we just have to think, you know, the world is not always under my control. Sometimes the universe gives me something and I think that I need something else. Well, maybe the universe knows a little better than I do in this moment, right? Even if it is not clear. So something to think about, right? Okay, so I want to go ahead and thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel get into the algorithm. And as we know, the algorithm kind of just decides everything. And so we want to make it happy. If you like the video, share the video on other social media, watch the reading from the beginning to the end, watch, you know, as many of the readings as you want on the channel, your different positions. And what else? Oh, yes. And of course, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You know, if you don't want to do any of the other things, I understand. Don't worry about it. I just like to bring them up so you know. But if you haven't subscribed, I really hope you do so you can become part of the community here. And if you want to know when the next videos are coming out, you hit that little bell so you don't miss any of them. You can, you know, watch all the placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising. I know a lot of people like to watch their Venus. And a lot of people do cross-watching, which is when you watch for your, you know, your loved ones, your kids, your significant other, your, you know, crush at work or whatever, you know, all the different people in your life. And then if you want to leave a comment, I read all of them. I try my best to get back to you as soon as possible, but I like to reply to all of the comments. And sometimes, you know, life is just chaotic and it takes a little bit of time to get back. So a day, 2, sometimes 3. Rarely has it ever been that long, but yeah, I love hearing from all of you. I mean, I really, so often, especially when I first started the channel, I thought, I don't know why I'm doing this all the time. But then, you know, I started to connect with people, hear your stories, you know, just feel your energies. And it really has been such an honor. It is honestly such a blessing to my life. And I feel like I've connected with some really amazing people here. And I really hope to be able to keep doing that. So if you feel so inclined, please do leave a message. Okay, so I want to thank you, and we will talk again very soon.